We're diving into a struggle many of you know well, the kind that cuts deeper than any wound you can see. They thought they had the power to break you, didn't they? They believed that if they poked at your past enough, they'd find your weaknesses. They counted on using your history, your regrets, and your painful memories as weapons to bring you down. But look at you now, standing strong, untouched by their attempts. They underestimated your strength, not realizing that the very things they tried to use against you were the things that shaped who you are today. Every setback, every challenge you faced alone, they thought it made you weaker, but it only forged a stronger, tougher version of you. They saw your past as a weakness. It's amusing how they believed they were untouchable, thinking they could lead people on without any consequences, as if they'd always have a crowd to admire them. But now, they find themselves alone, talking into an empty space, desperate for the attention they once took for granted. They loved being the center of attention, knowing others would bend over backwards for them. Now, they're learning what it's like to be ignored, dismissed, and treated as unimportant, just the way they treated you. They assumed their charm would carry them forever, that they could go through life disrespecting others without any backlash. But now, when they need someone's support, they're met with silence. No one's listening. No one cares. They threw away your loyalty and kindness like it was worthless. And now they're the ones left feeling the emptiness of being forgotten. Every person they meet seems to look right past them as if they don't exist. Now they've realized, haven't they? They see now that things like respect, loyalty, and understanding are rare and not easily replaced. By losing you, they've lost something they will never get back. Now they're chasing after people who don't care, clinging to fake connections, trying to find in others what they carelessly threw away in you. They crave validation, but all they encounter is emptiness, a gap where they once expected admiration. The consequences of their actions are catching up with them, hitting harder than they ever expected. They once felt powerful, but now they feel insignificant. They thought they could control everything and manipulate people without facing any backlash. Now they see that you can only take so much from people before they stop giving. They've realized they're not the puppet master, not the main focus. In fact, they're barely even noticed by the people they once dismissed. And doesn't that sting? In their quiet moments, they're haunted by what they lost. They reach out, hoping for the same understanding you once gave, but they only find cold indifference. There's no one left to listen, to care, or to comfort them. They pushed you away, and now they're the ones stuck in their own loneliness. It's a fitting kind of justice, don't you think? They're left with the harsh truth that they've brought this upon themselves. They thought they were ahead of the game, but now they see they were never really in control. They didn't appreciate you when they had you, and by taking you for granted, they missed out on something genuine and deep. Now, all they're left with are shallow relationships and fake friendships, and their life feels much emptier than it once did. They walk around desperate for someone to notice them, to listen, to give them some kind of validation. Instead, they're met with blank stares, small talk, and the heavy feeling of being completely alone. That's the real heartbreak, isn't it? They had someone who genuinely cared, someone who would have stood by them no matter what, but they threw it away. Now, they're endlessly searching for a connection they'll never find again. They wanted all the attention, to be the star. But now, they're just watching from the sidelines as everyone else moves forward, including people like you. They're haunted by memories of how things used to be, knowing they lost something precious they can't replace. That realization is a far worse punishment than any revenge could bring. Every morning, they wake up to a feeling of emptiness, trapped in the loneliness they created themselves. There's no escape from the fact that they're facing the consequences of their own actions. They wanted you to feel small, to feel like you didn't matter. But now, it's them who feel unimportant and unseen. The roles have reversed, and now they're the ones left dealing with the aftermath. Sitting alone in the quiet, they finally understand that once respect is gone, it's nearly impossible to get back. They've pushed away the very people they used to depend on, and now all that's left is a deep sense of regret. No one seeks their advice anymore. No one turns to them for help, and no one even acknowledges them. They've become just another face in the crowd, a shadow of who they once believed themselves to be. In chasing power and control, they lost the only thing that truly mattered, a real, meaningful connection. They treated people like game pieces, but now they see that people aren't objects, and relationships aren't games. What's left is just an empty shell of the vibrant life they once had. They'll keep trying to fill the emptiness, hoping to replace what they lost. But every new connection feels hollow in comparison. They're realizing now that loyalty can't be easily replaced, and true bonds aren't something you can just swap out. They'll spend their days searching, but they'll never find anything as real as what they once had with you. Let them keep running, keep searching, and keep hoping. They're the ones now left far behind, as the world has moved on without them, and the people they once toyed with have grown tired of their tricks. They're stuck in the mess they made, haunted by memories of someone they can never win back, and a life they can't restore. That's the real heartbreak, isn't it? Now they're desperately trying to piece together new relationships, but everything falls apart before it even starts. No amount of effort or sweet talk can hide the emptiness they feel inside, the gap left where true respect and love used to be. They're haunted by the memory of what they threw away, and every brief interaction serves as a painful reminder of how much they lost, of the great distance they've fallen from what they once had, but never valued. They're now faced with a harsh reality where no one cares to look beyond the surface, where the mask they wear fools no one. They remember the days when they could call, and you would always be there. When they needed something, you were the one to provide. But those days are long gone, slipping away like sand through their fingers, leaving them with nothing but fading memories. Now, they live in a world filled with echoes, where every attempt to connect or be noticed is met with complete silence. It's ironic, isn't it? They thought they could walk away without any consequences, believing they wouldn't feel a thing. But now, they long for the very connection they so easily threw away. They've learned the hard way that loyalty isn't something you can buy. It's something you have to earn. And once it's lost, it's almost impossible to get back. They believed they would never need anyone, that they could dismiss you and move on without a second thought. But now, every forced laugh and every insincere handshake reminds them of the genuine bond they once had, but chose to abandon. For the first time, they truly know what it feels like to be alone. There's a heavy burden they carry now, a weight that lingers as a constant reminder of the person they took for granted. They've trapped themselves in a prison of their own making, and every day they find themselves staring at the bars, wondering how things ended up this way. They can't outrun the regret that seeps into every part of their life, no matter how much they try to push it aside. They're haunted by the memory of the loyalty they once had, of a love they will never experience again. They've built a life for themselves where they go unseen, unheard, and unvalued. Only now are they starting to grasp just how much they've lost. So let them stay in that silence, dealing with the consequences of their own choices. In the end, they're stuck with exactly what they gave out: a life lacking in connection, respect, and warmth. Meanwhile, you found your peace by walking away, a kind of freedom they can never understand. That's the best part, isn't it? While they remain stuck in the mess they created, you're free to move on, to live fully, and to grow. And that, my friends, is the most satisfying justice. And so, life moves forward, as it always does. You've made your way through the storm, and now the sky has cleared. You've learned to love yourself again, to embrace the quiet moments without the shadow of their games hanging over you. The best part? You've discovered new parts of yourself, parts they never took the time to know. You've found new friendships, new connections that are built on trust, and a kind of love that feels genuine, because it is genuine. The lessons you learned weren't easy, but they've shaped you into someone stronger, someone who knows their worth. Now, you no longer settle for half-hearted attempts or empty promises. You've seen what true loyalty looks like, and you know the value of real love. It's a beautiful thing, this new chapter of yours. You've taken the pain, the regret, and the disappointment, and turned it into something powerful, into growth, into resilience. As for them, they'll keep running, hoping that somewhere down the line, they'll find a way back to what they lost. But it's a road that doesn't exist anymore, a door that's closed and locked behind you. And that's the truth they have to face now. They'll keep searching, reaching out into the emptiness, but no one will be there to answer the way you once did. You've stopped looking back, because your future is too bright, too full of promise to waste another second on what's already behind you. You've found your own path, surrounded by people who lift you up, who value you for who you are. They'll keep wondering why they can't feel the same warmth anymore, why every connection feels shallow. They'll keep grasping at memories while you're busy making new ones, better ones. And that's how it ends, not with a bang, but with a slow, quiet realization. You've moved on. You've grown past the point where they could ever catch up. The world has moved on without them, and so have you. There's a kind of poetic justice in that, don't you think? Because you're free now, truly free, and that's something they will never understand.